Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the NFL preview for Week Two. Um, we had we had a game last night to start off Week Two. That finished the Washington football team finished won 30 points 29. So that's a good win for them. Um, another a tight game to start the week's action. Good win for the Washington football team. Um, Now 1-1. The Giants dropped to 2-0. So let's get on with the review of the rest of the games for this week. Um, we start with the Bills at the Dolphins. Um, Bills coming. Josh Allen coming. Josh Allen's Bills coming into this game on the back of a defeat. A game they were leading and doing well in against the Steelers, but ended up losing it. The Dolphins ended up beating my Patriots. I support the Patriots. Last week, 17-16. So it's good. That's going to be interesting divisional game. Can Tua back up that win from last week and become 2-0? Can the Bills get back on track with Josh Allen? So that's going to be really interesting. Um, the Bengals, Cincinnati Bengals versus the Chicago Bears. Um, the Bengals last week won in overtime. Joe Burrow with a great play to win the game with a touchdown in overtime. Can can Burrow back that win up this week and go consistently two wins in a row? The Bears lost last week. Can the Bears get back on track? Can the Bears get back on track um, against the Cincinnati Bengals? Obviously losing last week, lost by 20 points, so that was quite a considerable loss for them. But hopefully the Bears can get back to bounce back this week. It'd be interesting to see. Um, the Broncos, who won last week against the Giants, play the Jaguars, who lost a game that they were expected to win against the Houston Texans. Can Trevor Lawrence bounce back this week and get his first win as a Jaguar? Can uh, can the new quarterback at the Broncos back up his win from last week? It's gonna be really interesting to see if the teams who were lost last week can bounce back from that defeat, or can the team who won the week one go on a run of a few wins towards the playoffs? Um, the Houston Texans versus Cleveland Browns. Texans beating the Jaguars last week, massive underdog against the Jags last week, but won. Tyrod Taylor outstanding. Um, for me, Deshaun Watson's going to struggle to get back in this Houston Texans team as long as Tyrod Taylor is consistent, winning games, throwing for touchdown passes. That's what the Texans and the Texan fans want is consistency. For the Browns, Baker Mayfield played well last week. They got out to an early lead against the Kansas City Chiefs, but they ended up losing the game in the end. So can Baker Mayfield um, turn this around for the Browns this week and beat the Texans, get their first win of the season? It's going to be really interesting. The Rams at the Colts. The LA Rams versus the Indianapolis Colts. Both teams. Rams won last week against the Cowboys. Against the Bears. Colts lost to the Seahawks. So both teams need the win there. I think it's going to be a good game. The Patriots play the Jets. The Jets, who lost last week, the Patriots lost last week as well. So both teams needing their first win of the season. I believe Mac Jones this week will look a lot better, and the Patriots will score a lot more points. And I think this could be the Patriots' first win of the season. I think the Jets, they've got a new quarterback, but lost a fairly tight game to the Carolina Panthers last week. But let's see what happens with the Jets. The next game is the Saints at the Panthers. Both teams won last week. Saints with a shock win over the Green Bay Packers. Jameis Winston looked fantastic. 5 touchdown passes to win the game for the Saints. The Panthers beat Jets last week, both winning teams. The Panthers looked good last week as well. So that's going to be another good game. We got 49ers versus the Eagles. Both teams won last week. This is a divisional rival game. Jimmy G played well for the 49ers last week. The Eagles obviously won as well, so both teams are going in this 1-0. These divisional games are quite very important in the scheme of the season and going to the playoffs. So it's going to be interesting to see who comes out on top there. You've got the reigning Super Bowl champions playing the Atlanta Falcons. The Falcons lost last week and didn't look very good at all. I think Tom Brady, and with the weapons he has in Tampa Bay, will make it an unbeaten start of the season with a good win over the Falcons. You've got the Vikings and the Cardinals. The Vikings losing a close game to the Bengals last week. The Cardinals with a really good shock win over the Tennessee Titans. Can Kyler Murray keep up the good form and win again back to back? I think that's the thing with the Cardinals. I think nobody really expecting much from the Cardinals, but what I would say is Kyler Murray is a good quarterback, and if he can get consistent wins, the Cardinals could be in the playoff picture. The Cowboys at the Chargers. Can Dak Prescott get back to winning ways this week? They were very unlucky in week 1. If the kicker had scored them 2 extra points, the game would have went to overtime. They're playing the Chargers, who won last week. Obviously Chargers are a good team as well. But I think Dak Prescott needs to get this Cowboys team rolling and get this first win of the season for them this week. Tennessee Titans play the Seahawks. Seahawks won last week against the Colts. Titans lost in an upset against the Cardinals. I think the Tennessee Titans need to get something rolling this week. Need to get something rolling this week. And then we go on to Sunday Night Football. Sunday Night Football this week is the Kansas City Chiefs versus the Baltimore Ravens. The Ravens obviously losing in overtime to the Raiders last week. Lamar Jackson looked good, played well. The Ravens were missing a few players last week, but put off a really good performance against the Raiders. So hopefully you can get a couple of these players back this week, and we see what happens with them. But when it comes to Kansas City and Patrick Mahomes, he proved last week you they can go behind early and they can still retrieve the situation. So the Kansas City Chiefs are a really dangerous team. Really dangerous team this year. So that should be a really good game on Sunday Night Football. And to finish off the week, Monday Night Football, we have both teams lost last week. We have the Detroit Lions versus the Green Bay Packers. Divisional game this as well. Obviously, big rivalry between these two teams. Green Bay has to be better. Has to be better than they were last week. To score 3 points against Saints, it was not an acceptable performance. It was not an acceptable performance. Green Bay has to get back to winning ways this week. Simple as that. And Aaron Rodgers, there's obviously he's a very good quarterback, but my thoughts on him is, has he distracted things in Green Bay so much where it's hard to win games for them because the players are scared of doing things wrong around them, or just like the things off the the things off the field with Aaron Rodgers and the organisation affecting the on field production. And from last week, you have to say it is. So Aaron Rodgers has to put on a good performance this week if he starts. If they don't bench him, but I think this game this week is a must win for the Green Bay Packers. So that's week 2 previewed for the NFL. We've got some really good matchups there. I'm obviously, as a Patriots fan, I'm hoping my team wins. But good luck to all the other teams. Good luck to all the other teams. And if you don't forget to like and subscribe. And I'll see you in the next video. And don't forget to comment down below who you support in the NFL. Or your favourite quarterback or your favourite players in the NFL also. So don't forget to put them down in the comments down below. Give some predictions of what you think is going to happen this week as well if you want to. Okay, thank you for watching, and I'll see you all in the next video. And enjoy this week's action in the NFL. Okay, bye.